It is my obligation. It is my ethical responsibility to be successful, to win. Did you notice in that song, it's the first time I saw it in the lyrics, it said, "Forever we win"? And then when Majay was giving some definitions, some word definitions, she said something that ties in to exactly what I have been sharing here in the last 9 months almost, and that is mastery. See, sometimes people stumble into success, but if you stumble in, you stumble out. You ever heard someone say, we just fell out of love? You hear that in marriages, we fell out of love. I fell in love. No, you didn't fall in love, and you didn't fall out of love. See, there was things that was neglected and overlooked that diminished the qualities that got you there. And if you can restore those, well, it's good. I missed you last week, but I had to go get my wife. And I wish I could have videotaped the struggle and the fight we had to get her in the car. Have you ever parents, you've ever had that struggle trying to get the kids in the car, out of the car? That's the way it was. If someone would have videotaped me trying to get her in the car, I'd be in trouble. It was a struggle. So today is cooperation, part 2. And I am so glad. When I'm away for such a long time, things happen. Things happen in my life pretty rapidly, if you haven't noticed that. But I want to share something with you as we get into this today, because I think this will help you as I shared it with Casey. But I want to give you an experience. And that is, my wife has done exceptionally well with her weight loss and the management of her health. And she's not on a diet, it's a lifestyle. When something is a diet, it fluctuates up and down. And you could use that term in a lot of areas in our life. When you have a diet of happiness and depression, it's up and down. My mom said one time, she said, when I come to the revelation of how many thousands of pounds I have lost on diets and gained them back. Diets will give you short-term benefits, but you're going to have to repeat it. So I did something. I was on the way up, and I was in one of these tranquil, the weather was 80 degrees. We're in this shift of going from summer to fall, even though fall doesn't actually occur until September the 20th or 21st. But you see the changes, maybe not in the temp. You start seeing the changes in creation. If you've really noticed, the sun already has a different pattern that it has. It's not the same. How do we know that? We noticed it in the pool. Where's the sun? It's moved a little bit. The grass is not growing as vigorously as the seasons are affecting things, even though the temp is the same. But I want to give you some revelation about some things, and one is this word that you have. So there's 2 or 3 things before we get into this. One, if I was to ask you what some memorable moments were, or some life-changing moments in your life, some big shifts in your life, a few things, maybe a lot, but a few things would pop up in your mind. You can remember. I remember, you know the story. I remember being at Highest Praise Worship Center in Charlotte, North Carolina, June the 24th, during worship, and I had this supernatural encounter with the Spirit of God, and I found myself in a corner of a building just out of it. And it radically changed my life. I walked away from the church I was in. Everything changed in my life, and that's how this exists today. One more, you see the date, the moment? If I was to ask you when you've had changes in your life, the reason you can remember those changes is because there was an experience. And for you to have an experience, it means there was something that emotionally was tied to that. When you and I do not have an emotional component tied to things, we never make the change. Does that make sense? We don't make the change. That's why we hear things, we hear our parents, we hear a preacher, we hear this, we hear that, and we know it's right, we may know it's true, but we don't do anything with it because we don't have an emotional change. When someone passes, that's an emotional moment. When someone is born, that is an emotional moment. When someone is shot, that's an emotional moment. When there's a divorce, that's an emotional moment. When we were severely rejected, that was an emotional moment. When we were embarrassed, we can remember these moments in our life that they put a tag on our life or a benchmark, and it's because there was an emotion tied to it. There was probably an emotion tied to Braxton playing at the World Series. He's probably always going to remember this moment. If they would have won the World Series, there would have been a greater emotion tied to this. What I want to tell you is you're going to have to learn to develop emotions, manufacture emotions for important things so you don't forget. See, somebody will say, how do you remember names? I have to tie that name to something. Depending on the letters of the name, I'll tie it. If your name was David Caldwell, I would tie that to DC. I tie things so I can remember it. And when I hear stuff, I can't rely on my memory, but you will hear a great word or something good, and because there's no emotional experience to it, and because we don't tie it, that short-term memory will only last about 2 to 5 minutes, and then you've forgotten it. So when we don't take notes, you're going to forget it. So I was on the way to to Virginia, and everything was beautiful. The weather was beautiful, and I was just, it was just me and the Spirit of the Lord. I was looking at the mountains and the rolling hills, and everything was beautiful. The weather was it was that perfect weather, 78, 79, 80, no humidity. And the Lord was just, speaking to me, and I shared it with Diane just the other day, and the Lord said, do you really want change in a particular area in my life? And I said, yes. And He told me to give this part of my life to someone. And I told Diane, it was very emotional for me. I cried. Because it reminded me, now listen, y'all got to follow, I'm going to tie all this together because this is good. See, a lot of people say they're saved, and a lot of people say they got saved. But when you read the scripture, when Jesus called the disciples, it says they gave up everything to follow Him. Now go just get your Bible and go read when He called Luke, or when He called Peter, when He called Matthew, it says they left the boat, their career, their something. I want to just ask you a question for a minute, because I think everybody is in this room. I know the younger ones like Jada and Aslan. Happy birthday, Aslan. Her birthday was this week. She's 18 now. And some of you are probably saved because you're in the church. Alana and Jackson. You probably are saved because you've been in the church. And I'm not saying that that's a negative thing. I'm glad you're saved. But see, when you grow up in something, you don't have to give up anything. No. See, you don't have a value on your faith because you've not given up anything, because it's really been expected of you to live a certain way and dress a certain way and act a certain way, and you going because I'm going. But you've not given up anything to say, I want this. So therefore, it's just a customary part of your life. It's a tradition. Now, I'm not judging that, but listen to me. He says you must give up everything and follow me. And for those who are not young and those who are, what have you given up to follow God? Listen to that. Now follow me. Y'all with me? Yeah. I'm in overall good health. I don't have any major issues. I'm 55. But I'm not exactly where I want to be. And the Lord spoke to me, and the Holy Spirit spoke to me, and He says, I want you to give your health to Diane. Come on, so good. Wow. Now, y'all know Diane and I. No. Y'all got to listen to me, man. I don't want to eat rice cakes. No, y'all not following me. See, He asked me because I want something. He asked me, He said, will you give your health to your wife? Come on now, so good. Now, see, we want a lot of things, but God's going to ask you, in order for you to win and be successful, you're going to have to give something to someone, because if you're not winning in that area, you're incapable of winning in that area, and you need some help. You need someone else to be able to manage the area, because you're not yet qualified to manage it. Come on, help us now. This will do it. Come on. Dang. I kept it simple. Now listen, I literally cried. Why? It wasn't that I didn't trust her. It's I have to relinquish my control. I have to relinquish, and this is what He said. He said, now when you give this up, when she tells you something, it's okay, not bitching and whining. Oh, I know you don't want to hear that in the church. You don't want to hear it in the church, but you do it outside the church. So you're just a hypocrite that does it out there, but you won't do it in here. You have an attitude. You struggle and you roll your eyes and you pout and whine. But God said, He says, I'm not telling you you have to, but when you give your help to your wife, I want you to do it with the right attitude. And I had to deal with this crying because I got to give up something. You know, I have deserved the right to eat what I want to eat. I'm a grown man. Little man, but a grown man. So I got to give someone else control who is successful in what they're doing to help me develop the habits and the lifestyle to be healthy. And he asked me, are you going to do this? I said, yes. But I did have a little crying moment because I had to give a part of me away. Not my personhood, but my control. So this week, she cooked stuff and she made a portion for me. And I said, am I open to another serving? And she said, nope, that's your serving. I said, okay. Did I not? That's all I said. I said, okay. I didn't. No, I made an agreement here that I'm submitting my help to her because I have a lot to do. And my health determines what I can do. Now listen to me and let me pause. Listen to me. Listen to me very good what I'm about to tell you because this is a revelation. When you're not good at picking men and women and your relationships are jacked up as hell most of your life, you need to submit your relationships to someone. Notice I didn't submit them to Casey because when Casey comes to work with his little grocery bag, he's got like 6 snacks. He's got Oreos and potato chips and Twinkies and I'm like, this boy has more snacks than the snack aisle. I didn't say I'm going to be accountable and submit my health to Casey. That would be a disaster. See, you want to submit your relationships to your best friend. You want to submit your brokenness to someone who's broke. You want to submit your lack of growth to someone who doesn't grow. You want to submit your bad attitude to someone who has a bad attitude. But if you really want to grow and change, you submit it to someone who is successful in that area and that will hold you accountable. If you want to lose weight, go to someone who has lost the weight and will hold you accountable. Don't go to another person that's got your same problem and expect them to hold you accountable. Listen to me. It's like snacks. When you have issues, you'll have snacks stuck away in all kinds of areas. Now listen to what I'm saying. You will spend and justify it when you have spending problems and you're broke. You'll have relationships and you'll get involved in relationships and be in relationships for 3 months before you tell anybody. You're not trying to pick the right one. You're not trying to get healthy. You're not trying to do it. You're deceptive and you're trying to get your flesh satisfied. See, I'm just talking about our human nature, our flesh of who we are. See, we don't want to deal. Listen, you know how you can know people real well? When you know yourself real well. You're more deceptive and sneaky than you want to admit. In Christ is the only way we can live this thing. So I submitted this health thing to my wife. And it's very well. Is much changed? Not that much has changed. My passion and my attitude toward my workouts have changed. She doesn't tell me to work out. I mean, you can't have someone telling you all the time. You got to have something in you to do it. But I just want to help you tonight where if you are struggling financially, it's easy to do stuff online. I was talking with Haley, and she's in college, and one of the things she was saying is they have all these remote classes. Remote classes don't prepare you. You need to be in a classroom. See, if you need to be in a classroom where you have to dress to go to class, where you have to take notes to go to class, where you don't get to multitask and do TikTok while you in class. So see, the reason, if you're struggling in any area, in the addiction program, they have something called a sponsor. And then let's talk a little bit. I know a little bit about it. So in a sponsorship, when you decide to go into a rehab or whatever, or you go into a program, one, they want to know if you're serious, but you're not supposed to be in any relationship for 1 year. Well, they're suggesting you how to be successful. But you're like, nobody's going to tell me I can't be in a relationship. You're not supposed to be in a relationship for 1 year. Why? It's a distraction. Why? It causes triggers. Why? It's emotional. And two, they recommend you have a sponsor. Someone who you can go to. See, I want to ask you, who is your sponsor? Who is your sponsor in your health, wherever your weakness is? Who is your sponsor in your finances? Who is your sponsor in your relationships? Who is your sponsor in your decision making? Who is your sponsor in your attitude? Who is your sponsor? See, you need a sponsor in your life, but we want sponsors that will let us get away with what we want to get away with. And so many times, that's why I'm working. You can have a pleasing personality, but when your sponsorship won't allow them to slide, that's good right there. Who? So I'm going to pause you right now. Who's your sponsorship? Who's your sponsor? Write them down. Write down. Who's your sponsor? And not just a go-to person, but the area right now you know you're weak in. The areas you know you struggle in. Who is the person that is your sponsor that will hold your feet to the fire? In relationships, in finances, in career moves, in purchasing, in projects. You can have a problem in any area of your life. I hope that helps you. How do you know? I'm going to leave you with this question before we can jump in. How do you know when you've paid the price for success? Do you know everything? Listen, look at your shoes. Look at your shoes. Look at them. You like them? You paid for them. You picked them out. You selected them, and you said they're worth this price, right? Look at your jewelry. You picked it out. I mean, I know we may have some stuff that has been handed down to us, but for all, you look at your clothes. You picked them out, and you looked in the mirror, and you say, "Does this make me look fat? Does this look good on me?" And you say, "Yes, this looks really good on me," and you paid for it. You went to the register and you paid for it. How do you know when you've paid the price for success? People say, "I'm successful." You have a car? No, you ain't successful. "I'm successful." You have a house? No. Well, no, we got to define success. And you get to define success. I'm not defining it for you. I am laying out some stuff so you can make good decisions. How do you know when you paid the price for success? When you are walking in success. Listen, the word says when you plant a seed, don't worry about the seed. It will do its work. When you pay the price for success, when you've paid the price long enough, it will materialize in your life. Do you hear me? How did you get here? I planted the seeds and cultivated the seeds, and they grew into success. And the success you see me walking in or others walking in is they paid the price. If you do not pay the price, you will not have success. Now, unfortunately, this is all Dollar General had or Dollar Tree. This is Aslan's birthday gift. She wanted it so bad. This is a 48-piece puzzle. And when you go in there, or you get these, 48 pieces, see, does this look like this? Not yet. Oh, y'all just answered that. See, you don't look like success yet because you hadn't put the pieces together. See, listen, we're going back to this. Definite chief purpose, definite chief aim. Follow me. See, you have to have an imagination and you have to decide, this is what I want to be, this is what I want to do, this is what I want it to look like, and you must draw a picture of where you want to go and what you want to do in life. And then when you look at the picture, you have to say, do I have the pieces in my life, come on, help me, to be able to put them together to make this marriage look like what I want? I just always wanted a marriage. Well, you don't have the components to make the marriage. I've always wanted this kind of car. You don't have the components to have that kind of car. You have to, when you sit down and get away from all the social media and TV and sit down and say, this is what I want my life to look like. This is what I love doing. And you draw, so to speak, a picture of it. And then you take inventory of what I have that I can make this happen, and then who has what I need to make this happen. Then I've got to join myself and cooperate. See, Diane can't make me healthy. I got to cooperate with her to help me. It is still on me to do it, but then I've got to cooperate with someone to help me be able to achieve what I want. But I've got to go and work and develop and get the pieces. And then 10 years later, you can say, wow. And you can say, yeah, look. Exactly what I said. What does Christ-likeness look like? The Word says that bitterness and sweetness can't come out the same fountain. Listen, you can't listen to any kind of music you want to and think you can just be a worshiper, because what goes into you is planting seeds. I'm not saying we don't listen to things. I'm just saying how much of what you listen to is really creating a picture for you. You ever notice that you can look at how people dress and you can pretty well tell what kind of music they listen to? Do you know you can look at people's dress and tell what type of music they listen to? From the shoes they wear to the hair, you can kind of get a picture of what this person is. Can you not? So here you are. This is you. No one can paint that picture but you. And if you don't have that picture, all you're doing is you're drifting and you're aimlessly trying to make something happen. And you're setting yourself up for disappointment and discouragement and becoming a victim, because God's good to Heather, but He's not good to me. God's good to Shakima, but He's not good to me. No, you have not tried to get the pieces together and understand what it takes to get to this level. You may not want to be anything like Shakima. Good. You get to draw your own picture. What does it look like for you to be a Christian? What does a Christian look like? Everybody sees the picture of what you think Christians look like. You're a walking picture, and when you interact with people, they're deciding, it's like, I don't like that design. I don't like that artwork. I don't like that type of artistic work. Are you not? You judge that. I mean, you may like Van Gogh, you may not. You may like Bob Ross, you may not. You may like, I don't know who you like, but you all like something, and you are designing your Christianity, and people are determined whether you are what they want to be a Christian. People say, well, I don't think you're a very good Christian. People say, I don't like your Christianity. I don't see anybody following you. Who's following your Christianity? You know what? Let me just ask a question. Greg, did I call you this morning and tell you better have your butt here in church this morning? You got up on your own and came to church, right? You could have went to 400 churches in Wilmington today. You came here. Did I tell you better get yourself to church, girl? You're going to hell. No, I didn't call anybody in this church and ask you to come. You came out of your own voluntarily way. Okay? So my question is that we are supposed to have a faith that people are willing to follow. No, we're good. We're good. I just got, my goodness, time-wise, 11:19. We're good. You ready? Amen. Prepare to cross this Jordan. Timothy and all the people. Cooperation. There's a leader and people. Cooperation. Cross to the country I'm giving to the sons of God. I'm giving you every square inch of the land you set your foot on, just as I promised. It's all yours. All your life, no one will be able to hold out against you. In the same way I was with Jesus, I will be with you. I won't give up on you. I won't leave you. Strength and courage. You're going to get down. You're going to get discouraged. You're going to get upset. You're going to get rejected. You're going to feel lost, but you're going to need strength and courage. You're going to lead these people, cooperation, to inherit the land that I promised to give their ancestors. Give it everything you have, heart and soul, enthusiasm. Make sure you carry it out. Concentration, the revelation that God commanded you, every bit of it. Don't get off track. Don't get off track, left or the right, so that you make sure you get to where you're going and possess overwhelming success in everything you undertake. And don't for a minute let this book of Revelation be out of mind. Ponder and meditate on it day and night. Make sure you practice everything written in it, and then you'll get to where you're going. Then you will enjoy incredible prosperity and success. Haven't I commanded you strength and courage? Don't be timid. Don't be discouraged. Abba, your Papa is with you every step you take. If you are able to believe, if you can believe it, you can have it. Success is something you create for yourself, not something others can steal from you. You can't steal anybody's success. You can't steal it. Don't ever worry about people stealing it. But you can create it. Write this down if this is not in your notes. You can have more than you got because you can become more than you are. Oh my gosh. No, I didn't. Nobody said anything. I want this, I want that. When you want something, guess what you got to do, Cindy? You got to become more than what you... If whatever you don't have, it's because you don't have enough of you to get it. You can have more than you got because you can become more than you are. Why can't I have this? I have not enough, I have not mastered this skill enough. Now, Diane and I, we cooked fish yesterday, fried fish. Now listen to me. I don't know if you know anything about frying fish. That's a skill. Now, you think you can just go grab some little fish out the thing and throw it? No, no, no. When you ever around people, my mom cooked fish every Thursday for my whole life. When someone cooks fish, oh, you just put it in the oven. Isn't all barbecue the same? No. Isn't all banana pudding the same? No. Isn't all mac and cheese the same? I mean, we get all excited that we pull that little top off and put a little water in it, make some mac and cheese, and we like, man, this is good. That ain't good. Somebody lied to you and you believed it. You drank the mac and cheese Kool-Aid. If you want mac and cheese, submit yourself to the mac and cheese queen. I just can't make it like Ma J. No, you don't want to make it like Ma J. Because all you have to do, well, that costs too much to make that kind of mac and cheese. That's right. To be successful at a high level, you got to be willing to pay the price at the high level to get there. You don't get mac and cheese in a container. Well, pop that little thing and put it in there in 30 seconds in the microwave. Thank you, Ma. This is so good. I love you, but I'm not living in any third world country at this moment, and I love you, but I'm not eating ramen soup at your house. Now, you can doctrine it up all you want. I'm not coming to your house to eat. I will drink water, but I'm not eating ramen soup. See, we think we're skilled because we read directions, but we can't create it. We can only plagiarize it. Because we can't create it, we have to have debt to look like it. Listen to me, what I'm talking to. We have to dress to look successful even though we don't have anything. Success is not, listen, this is so good. Success is not something you pursue. Listen, success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract because you have become attractive. Did y'all get that? We talked about that in, I think, 7 or 8. Why is it important to have an attractive personality? I have met people that are not models or GQ, but they have such, every time someone comes in, Casey and I will talk about their personality. There's people that will come in and their personalities is just like insane. They're just like, hey, how are you doing? I mean, they're just like, it's not rehearsed, it's just, they are just a person with a personality that just attracts you to them. And if they said, hey, would you do that? Yeah, I'd do that for you. Yeah, would you do? Yeah, I would do. And you normally don't do it for people, but their attractiveness attracts your ability to want to do it because you are attracted to that Y'all not hearing what I'm saying? If you're not attracted to someone and they say, will you do this? No. There's a charge. You want to get paid. Why? Because you're not attracted to the person. If you're not, listen. If people aren't giving things to you and blessing you and helping you and inviting you and doing, it's because your personality is not attractive. Because if your personality is attractive, it will attract everything you need to be successful. And if you got to think about it to say, well, I need to do this so I can get this, then you are now in manipulation. So just test yourself and say, what are people giving to me? What are people inquiring of me? What are people asking of me? Am I getting invited? Is people giving me stuff? People should be wanting you to be part of you because you are an attractive asset to them. And when people hear your dreams and they hear your passion and they hear your talk, they'll say, I want you on my team. Well, I'm here. Well, what will it take to get you here? Well, I'm making this right here. I need this. Well, I'll match that and give you more. So they will pull you from here to get you here because they want that, because you have an attractive personality and you have what they need. They will pay you because you have, no, not hearing me. They will pay you because you have developed an image that they want. You wear, in this room, there's an image right there. I don't know what that image is. You pay for this image. And there's people, well, I see people all the time, I don't know what they are, dude shoes. Dude. Hey, dude. I'm not buying no hey, dude shoes. See, you wear stuff, labels and titles, because you're saying, look what I can afford. Look at my shoes. $200 shoes. I'm not against any of that. I'm just saying we like labels because they project that I'm something. I'm not going into no $40 rainbow flip-flops. I'm not even going in. I'm not even going. When I see somebody with a $40 pair of flip-flops, I want to say, let me see your emergency fund. Let me see your house. No. See. We think it's okay, and I'm not trying to make this. We think it's okay. Well, I'm living, but you're not living at the level God created you to live. So if you lost your job, you lose your apartment. Because you own nothing. You lose your job, you lose your car because you own nothing. You lose your job. You have no equity in your life to say, look what I have. Everything is as long as I'm paying for it, I'm cute. When you're not paying, when you have it and say, I don't even have to work. I don't need this job. Well, I can't leave this job because I got bills. No, you're in debt. That's why God says, oh, no man, nothing. I hate my job. Well, get another job. I can't. I got bills. You've gotten to the trap. You got into the trap. See, success is something you attract by becoming attractive. See, He has called us, God has called us to mountaintop thinking and level 10 living. We just read this all through here. The songs we sing, victory belongs. You are to be a winner every day of your life. Now, you're not every day, you're going to have some failures and you're going to have some defeats, but that doesn't mean I'm not a winner. I mean, you can win the Super Bowl and still have turnovers. Hello? You can still win the game and have some fumbles. You can still win the game and get sacked. Because I get sacked doesn't mean we don't win. Because I don't get the field goal doesn't mean we don't win. Because of upsets doesn't mean I still don't win the game. It just means I just had a fumble. Hello? Does anybody know what dry rot is? Somebody give me a quick, what is dry rot? See, when you have inaction in your life, you are dry rotting. When you're not using what God's giving you, you're in dry rot. Dry rot occurs because of inactivity in your life. Dry rot occurs when you do not engage and when you do not have action in your life. You will begin to dry rot and lose your edge, lose your color, lose your focus, lose your attraction because of inaction. It looks like Shakima has gave some action to her hair. If she says, I'm not going to do anything else to my hair, I'm just going to let it be. You can like me or not. Isn't that what we do? You can like my personality or not. That's called inaction. Well, this is who I am. Because of who you are doesn't mean that's where you have to stay. What you have doesn't mean that's all you have to have. So, see, Abba will not force a destiny on you that you're not interested in. Abba will not force success on you that you're not. When you're hearing me talking, you're like, I don't care nothing about that. Good. You'll never have it. You'll never have it. You can't tell me. Yeah, I can tell you. I just read the scripture. If you practice these things, if you do these things, if you do not deviate from these things, you will have what I say you have. This isn't me. I didn't create this. Sorry. Don't hate me. I'm just sharing with you what we have failed to learn. Abba will not force on you a destiny that you're not interested in. See, discovering our definite purpose and being shaped for that. Y'all listen, if you discover your purpose, then you've got to develop yourself to fit that purpose. You don't get to say, oh, God told me to do this. You're going to have to develop the skills and the talents and master that in order to fit. Have you ever put something, like the rubber gloves and they don't fit? Some of them are too tight and some are too big, and I prefer not. Listen, God has tailored your purpose and your cause, and you're supposed to fit and work like a glove. You have to grow and fulfill yourself that the glove fits just right. So what is the this is a fill-in. What is the distinguishing factor between a life of abundance and a life of lack? What is the distinguishing factor between a life of success and a life of no success? What is the distinguishing factor between winning and losing? The distinguishing factor is how you see yourself and how you value others. Because if you don't see yourself the way God sees you, you cannot function in what God has for you. You cannot see yourself as a grasshopper and be an overcomer in the land. A grasshopper doesn't drive out anything. You've got to see yourself in it. Until, let me back up on this. Let me do this real quick. We have some things. So, we have personal leadership. These are all the things right here that we have created, right? I don't know what that is. Oxygen's not one of them, even though we do need that. Phosphorus, that was from another one. Nitrogen, that was from another one. Okay? Here is basically not hydrogen we don't need. Okay? You have all the bricks. You have all the puzzle pieces. It says Jesus is our cornerstone. What does that mean? You've got to have a cornerstone. You've got to have, where do I start on all this? Where do we start on this life of success that I'm talking about? We know Christ is there. We're all saved, I hope. Where do we start? What's our number one? Where do we go? We go build this. We go build this wall. We go build this army. Where do we start? Listen there. Definite chief aim. That's your number one thing. Don't worry about these at this moment. Right here. A pleasing personality without no purpose is just a pleasing personality. Imagination is just imagination. All these must get behind this. This is your chief cornerstone for success. I need to know what I am existing for. Why am I alive? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? Definite chief purpose, definite chief aim. You should know this by the time you're 12 years old. Definitely by the time you're 16. Definitely by the time you're 18. And I would say people 20s and 30s and 40s still don't know it. They just, well, I need to go to college. I need to go here. I need to do this. I need to do. I think I need to do this. So Josh says, I think I need to do this. And Diane says, I think I do this. And you start, well, I need to get my mind right now. But you don't, what are you getting your mind right for? You're getting your mind right for, and it's not lined up with your definite purpose. So the first one is, this is what, and when it comes to success, I need to know where I'm going. I can't make a puzzle until first I have a picture, and then I start cutting the puzzle up. That's the picture. I got to have the image first. Image, definite purpose. I want to be Monster Jam Trucking Pals. That's what I want to do for a living. Okay, that's it. That's where you start. And most people still, this series, they still hadn't written it out. They still haven't written it down. They still have, and that's okay. You don't have to do it. You're aimlessly wandering. You're adrift. Whatever happens, happens. See, I'm building an army. You're building an army. Self-discipline was in there. I'm not going to put these. Pleasing personality was in there. Do this one. Let's cover all of them. Look. This is in my brain. No, wait. Well, look. The word says, listen, this is an army. I am building an army. Everybody knows that an army must be trained and well disciplined. Y'all with me? Your life must be trained and well disciplined. To have an army that can defeat rejection, to have an army that can defeat negativity, to have an army that can defeat seduction, to have an army that defeats misspending. I must have self-discipline and created an army. And guess what? An army needs a commander. And the army stands at attention waiting on the commander to give the commands. Guess who the commander is? You are. And you are commanding. You're commanding the army to defend your definite chief aim. Come on, is this any good? You're mastering. We hadn't got all these. We got 2 or 3 or 4 more to go. You need to know self-discipline. Am I doing self-discipline? I need the self-discipline. We were up in the mountains and we were wanting a piece of artifact. And the guy, it was $1,200. He said, well, if you want it today, I'd do it for $8. Woo! $400 off my mind and say, we both want it. She's not helping me out in this. I didn't commit it to her on this right here. And then he had another artifact, and he said it was 1,000, and it was rare. And he said, I do 800, and we'll help you load it in the truck and all this. And I said, let's go. I said, we'll ride around and come back. Guess what? We didn't buy it. I had to get away like Joseph. I got to run. Come on. It is not just sex. You got to run from some people. You got to run from some triggers. You got to run from some things. I got to get out of the proximity of it, because when I'm in close proximity, I have emotional feelings to it. I got to leave. You need to excuse me. I'll see you in a little bit. Why are you going? I got to get away from this environment, because my habit of saving is being compromised at the moment. Oh, yeah, they were special. They were unique. Nobody ever seen them. They're just very, yeah, but I got to go. Are y'all following what I'm saying to you? See, I'm building an internal army, and for this army to be a good army, I got to make sure I'm well disciplined and a good commander over it. Because wherever there is a breach, anything can take it out. I'm not talking about something you do in one Sunday. I'm talking about a lifelong process. I got my whole life to do this. Diane and I sat the other day. We were sitting in a room, and 3 people in that room were 90 years old. Do you know what that is? No, listen what I'm saying. 3 people, 90. 3 to 90 is what? 270. That's not counting me and Diane and some of the others. There were 270 years in 3 people sitting in that room with me. And what? Tell me something. Tell me something. 370 years. You got something to tell me. I got 55. Who's telling you anything? Who are you drawing from? I got pictures taken with them. Selfie with them. Know what they do and where they were, and asking questions, and their mental acute. And you know what I said? I said, oh my goodness, you're 90 years old. They were carrying on conversation, hugging. I bet we hugged 10 times and all that. And you know what? I said, I'm 55 and you're 90. Well, how many years is that? I got 35 more years. Oh my, do you know what's going to happen in 35 more years of where I am right now? If I've learned most of this in the last 10 years and the last 5 years, what's 35 more years going to give me? I believe in compound movement. I haven't reached any pinnacle. I haven't reached my productivity. I haven't reached anything. I haven't reached my speaking abilities and capabilities yet. This church, I don't want to go to that church. It's small. Go to another church. This church ain't done. And I promise you, there's no one in here, I promise you, you ain't outgrown nothing. Don't be telling me, I'm outgrown. You ain't outgrown jack. So don't ever say, I've outgrown it. No. The pasture looks greener on the other side. That's all. You ain't outgrown nothing. Let's look at Ephesians 4:14. I don't know what it is. That clock is going super slow. I love you, God. Kairos time is slowing down. And then, look at that. And then in our immaturity will end. Hopefully, your immaturity and my immaturity will end. Now, do you ever wonder when someone's immaturities go in? I really do. When? And we will not, oh no, let's see which one. I want, will you put that in, let's try that in King James Version. I usually don't go there, but for all my Baptist folks and for all my Calvinist folks out there. I want you to see this. It says, we will not be easily shaken by trouble. Why he's pulling that up, I still read it. Nor led astray by novel teachings. Diane and I was talking. I'm going to do a series. Can I tell you the church has sold, the pastors in this city and around this nation has sold the church out. And henceforth, no more children tossed to and fro with every wind of doctrine, every wind that sounds good, every fad that looks good. Well, you know what comes around goes around. I don't care what goes around. I'm not wearing plaid pants anymore. For all the girls in the house, stop with the mother pants. Go up to here. You know, the high waist. Oh, this looks so good. You just hadn't asked anybody. Nobody wants to, well, you know, they're just teenagers. Please, someone tell them. We think because something's in style, it looks good. No. Because something's in style does not mean it looks good. Who told you it looked good? Style told you it looked good. You're more impressed with wanting to be accepted by others than you being your own person. I'm never going to put Jerry curls and wear a mullet again. I don't care what the style is. There's just some things I won't do. Am I against it? You can. If you want to grow your hair out in the back and have a mullet, you do it, brother. Whatever the style is for you, you get to choose your style. You get to choose your success. You get to choose your church. You get to choose it. You get to choose it. I'm not here to choose it for you. Just don't choose mine. Look at this. It says, and cunning craftiness, they lie in wait to deceive. Put that in the Passion Translation. Now, why are they putting this up in another translation? Listen to this. Listen to this. Listen to this. 100 people. 100. 100 people. Say 100. Definite chief purpose and definite chief aim. How many people out of 100 people do you think have a definite chief aim in their life or definite purpose? 2. 2 people out of 100. Now let me define this. You have sat down with a piece of paper and you have written out your definite chief purpose and your chief aim in life. And this is what, it may not be perfect, but you have at least sat down and said, this is what I believe that I'm going to do in life. If you have not done that, you're part of the 98. Now, I have mine written out, so I know I'm one. So there might be one in here. Excuse me. You got yours. You got yours. You got yours. I'm not asking you to raise your hand. We're already above average. I already expect success. You cannot have success because when you don't have a definite chief aim, that piece of artifact will take your money when you could have spent $1,000 investing in yourself. How much money do you invest in you? I'm not talking about nails and I'm not talking about toiletries. I'm talking about investing in you. Diane and I, we had a very good discussion. I was right and she was right. I was right and she was almost as right as I was. But we were both right. But let me just give you an example. When we were talking, in school for parents, it is mandatory that they read. And they have to read. We were talking about it is, your children need to read about the Holocaust. Your children need to read about this. Your children need to read about that. Your children need to read about this. Okay, your child's 12 years old. Tell me one leadership book they've read. No. Name me a book that they've read that's about leadership. They've never read a leadership book. Well, then you're not preparing them to lead, you're preparing them to follow. Okay, name me one book that they've read. I'm talking about age appropriateness. Name me one book that they've read on how to save money and invest money. Okay, they're 16. Name me one book that you went and bought for them and said, I want you to read this book. Well, I don't want to read it. I don't really care that you want to read it. I didn't really want to change your diaper. I really didn't want to cook a meal for you every day. I really don't want to deal with your attitude every day. I really don't want to do a lot of things. But you go read this book. And you go read it in a time frame that I'm giving you to read it. Oh, I'm a great parent. Because you ain't going to be 25 living at home. Your goal, that should be part of your definite chief aim. Well, I'm getting my own place. I'm talking about life. You want to go in business with me? You don't get to partner up in everything. You want to help me buy my car? Well, I need 3 people to help me buy my car. Tell me how that works. Will you buy me a car? You don't have a pleasing personality. No. Will you help me? No. You say, well, that's mean. It is not mean. Go ask the bank and say, will you loan me $50,000? And they go ask you, why should we? What kind of job you have? What's your credit score? How you going to pay it back? What are you going to do with the money? You just don't get to ride around and just say, hey, can you give me some money? What are you, a prostitute? What are you selling? Because I don't hear anything intelligent you're selling. I don't hear no vision you're selling. I don't hear no purpose you're selling. I don't hear no self-discipline. How much money you need? How many coffees you drink a month? I see that one in there out there. That's a $4.95, extra large. I'm not. Go if you disagree with me. Go out and look at all the wealth people out there, what they have to say. Because when you hear it from me, you're like, I don't agree with that. Then you go out and you start looking at the people that had the money, and they're like, oh, did you know so-and-so said this? Come on, talk. So what you're seeing today is only going to get better. It's only going to get better. I'm getting, if I want more, I got to get more. So my wife is going to help coach me, and she is going, I've submitted my health to her, and we're going because why? There's an 18-year difference between our age. $15, $20, whatever. There's an age difference. You know what? She's doing good. I mean, we got a lot to do together. We got a lot to do together. And I can't do it without good health. 2 out of 100. All of us, listen, y'all know what law of chance is? Law of chance is there are some people, it's like some people are born with good hair. You know what I mean? You know that. Some people are born with good hair. I ain't one of them. Some people are born with genetics that are just crazy. It's called the law of chance. It's just, and then we got genetics from our parents, and they're not good genetics. You know? There's some, I'm just talking, allow me to talk. There's some people that has genetics, they're blessed in areas, and there's other people that's not blessed in areas. We all got it. We don't have, but there are people that's just, everything is good. You know what I mean? They're the right height. They're the right height. They got the right hair. They grow the right beard. I mean, their hair is good. Everything's, it's like, yeah. Everything's good. Listen, the law of chance says there's one in 1 million that are born that way. 1 in 1 million. I'm not one of the 1 million. Listen, there are 1 in 1 million who is born, or who they are born with a lot of these traits that I am teaching, and with the proper education and knowledge, they have no issues with these. For you and I, if you're less fortunate like me that was not born with any, I've got to develop these. It's a lot harder when they're natural abilities. It's like some in here can sing and some can't. I'm one that's that. There's some in here that's got rhythm and there's some that don't, Bree. There's some in here that... I didn't mean Bubba, do re mi fa sol la ti do. Okay, we good. I was just kidding. See, all of us who are not fortunate, you have to develop them. See, you may not like your professor in school, but you still have to follow him. You may not like me, but you still got... Listen to what I'm saying. Whether you like me or not, I'm not here. I'm not here to win your likes. I am just be successful, and that lets me know that what I've done matters. Does that make sense? So here's your action steps. Y'all got the action steps? Listen, realize what qualities are missing in your natural equipment. What do you have? You can't sit down and, listen, you can sit down and do this equipment assessment, but you need to go somebody else to let you also help you, because you can think you can sing and can't. You can think, you've seen people that think they can dance that can't. You think people that they think they can do stuff and they really can't. See, let me tell you why the Lord put me in your life. I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you the truth. That's all. I'm telling you. It's not personal. I don't really, you do whatever you want. I'm just saying, I'm going to tell you the truth. Sometimes it takes me a while to get back to you because I got to figure out how I'm going to articulate this truth to you. But I'm going to tell you the truth. Realize what qualities are missing in your natural acquired equipment. And 2, once you know that, now develop and activate your desire to develop them. You're going to have to develop what you don't have, or you will never have a defense that you can be successful. You'll do good. You'll take 3 steps forward and 2 back, or 2 forward and 3 back, and you just can't get ahead. And let me help you with this. Outside of my teaching, I'm a lot better, but I don't like fluff, and I don't like lies, and I don't like embellishments that just tells you, just go to church and just read your Bible and just be what you want to be. You're not going to be successful that way. That's not the way it works. It just doesn't work that way. Okay? So I want to read this to you. Almost done here. Let me read this to you. Don't wish life was easier. Wish you were better. Don't wish for less problems. Wish for more skills to solve those problems. The major determining factor in how your life works out is each person's philosophy or beliefs. Beliefs. How your life is going to turn out, how your marriage is going to turn out, how the home you're going to live in or never live in, whether you go live in an apartment the rest of your life, a trailer the rest of your life, a brick home the rest of your life, whether you go live on a 1/3 of an acre the rest of your life, or whether you go live on 10 acres the rest of your life, whether you go live on the beach or whether you go live in the mountains, whether you go have an RV, whether you go on vacation. All depends on the philosophy in your mind of these things of how you're going to live. You don't get to change this. The major factor in how life works out for you is your philosophy. which are like sails, a set of sails. Listen to this. Your Bible, my Bible says the sun shines on the righteous and the unrighteous. What does that mean? He blesses them. Guess what? The wind blows on everybody. Your sails, your belief system will determine that the wind that is blowing, where you're going to go. What you believe is sails, like a kite surfer or like a sailboat. When you put those sails up, wherever, if you don't know what the sails and how to work the sails, when those sails go up, whatever you believe, don't think you believe, doesn't matter to you. You still believe something. And when the wind blows on your sails, you arrive over here in divorce. Well, I just don't know what happened. I know what happened. Your philosophy and your sails got you divorced. And then you get off the bank, put your sails back up, and you end up in divorce. How did this happen twice? Your sails, your philosophy is off, and it keeps running you into divorce. I lost a car. It got repossessed. I had to move out the house. I got repossessed. It is not, you're not a victim. It's you don't know how to handle the wind. Right. That's right. I got pregnant. You're not Mary. It wasn't immaculate. You did some things. Your philosophy, you really believe you could do it and get away with it, and that wouldn't happen. The first thing you got to do is, I'm here to tell you, I am not an excuse person. There is no excuse. There is no, it's a decision. It is a choice. And in America, we think, well, you know, if I get pregnant, Mom and Dad will take care of them. If I get pregnant, Grandma and Granddad take care of them. No. So you have that next sheet of paper there on the back. I just gave you a list here just to help you, again, pull this together. I'm just going to hit the definite purpose. I'm putting it together to help you understand it. The Mastermind Alliance, we haven't talked about that. It's the group you'll assign yourself and align yourself to. I don't want any yes people around me. I want people to tell me. See, just tell me. Tell me the truth. If you're one that's going to cry over the truth, I'm not your guy. Self-discipline, going the extra mile, a pleasing personality, personal initiative and leadership, imagination, which is creative vision, positive mental attitude is character, enthusiasm, accurate thinking, controlled attention or concentration, teamwork and cooperation. These are the 12 I've covered. I've given 12 secrets here for you. Here, I've given you 12. You get to build the wall. So please look at me just for a minute. If I have said it in a way, if I have used a tone, anything that I have done that's caused you to feel, let it go. Let it go. I don't live with you and you don't live with me. You don't drive my car and I don't drive your car. I don't eat your food and I don't buy your groceries. You get to do all this on your own. This is you. This ain't God. This ain't Jesus. This is you. You. I am where I am in life because of Timothy Hutto. Now, God is my source, but you understand, God makes me do nothing. I can go home and sit in front of the TV and eat junk food and get to 300 pounds, and I'm still going to heaven with you, and you run 20 miles a week. Still going to heaven. This isn't about me and you and us and them and rigidity and all. This is about you cooperating together. It's just like the Word. If you were to make a list of all the things that God tells you to do as a Christian, do you know how big your list would be? Oh my gosh, be kind. Love your enemy. How many of you do that? How many of you love someone and you don't like them? No, you don't like them. If you don't like them, you don't show them love. You don't talk to them. You cold shoulder them. That's sin. Listen, let me tell you this. I got to go because I got a funeral to do today. I came into church Tuesday night. Was it Tuesday night? I don't know what was going on with me, but I came into church Tuesday night, and I was like here, but my body was not here. And Daniel said, "Hey, PT." And I said, "Hey. Hey, Case. Hey, this." I spoke to people. I really did not want to really hug anybody. I really didn't want to. Bree's a hugger. She said, "Hey." I didn't want to hug Bree. I didn't want to hug really anybody. I was here, but I didn't really want to do it. And the Lord on the way home, He spoke to me. You know what He said? He didn't beat me up. He didn't get mad at me or anything. You know what He told me? He said, "What was going on with you tonight?" I said, "I don't know. Leave me alone." Listen, I said, "I don't know." He said, "I wanted to just tell you, I'm not mad at you, but you missed opportunities." What? When Daniel did his fist, you could have just said, "Come here, boy, I love you. You're the best. Oh, I love you. You're the best. Thank you. Thank you for being..." No. He didn't say, "I didn't sin." He just said, "You missed opportunities to build people up." Someone may have just needed a hug. Someone may have needed a smile. Someone may have needed a laugh. Someone may have needed something. But because you were in your mood, you missed opportunity to bless people. This morning, how many opportunities have you missed because you don't really want to talk to anybody? How many opportunities? And you want people to bless you, but you don't want to bless. You don't get to reap where you don't sow. Nobody hugs me. Do you hug anybody? You don't get to reap hugs unless you sow hugs. You don't get to reap kindness unless you sow kindness. You don't get to reap gifts unless you reap. You don't get to reap where you have not sown. It's illegal. It's stealing. You're a thief to think that people owe you something when you haven't done anything first. Thief. Worship is an opportunity. Praise is an opportunity. Encouragement is an opportunity. I'm here to tell you, you miss opportunities and you get upset and you become a victim and you think, "I got to change locations. I got to change relationships. I got to change churches. I got to change this." No, you're the problem, and changing it only carries the problem wherever you go. So I apologize and ask your forgiveness for me being in my selfish thing. Even though I went through the motion, I really wasn't in it. And God said, "Don't do that anymore because you miss opportunity." Hallelujah. Stand with me.
Victory belongs
Victory.
to you.
Thank you for the word, Lord. Thank you for your people.
Victory
Thank you for this house.
belongs
Thank you for cooperating with me when I didn't cooperate with you. Thank you for cooperating with me when I was resisting you.
to you.
So you got to cooperate with God. And your cooperating with God has a lot to do with your ability to cooperate with people. You don't get to just cooperate with God and not cooperate with people. Your cooperation with God is going to be demonstrated by your cooperation with people. Your love for God is demonstrated by your love for people. You don't get to choose how you're going to do it. And close with this song. Love you guys.
Victory